Alright, cool beans. Hope you guys did enjoy that small montage. I'm Hex. I'm gonna be going over my StamCro build. Yes, finally we go over a StamCro build. A little bit on the hybrid side, but honestly, at StamCro nonetheless. That I like to call the Immortal Undead. Honestly, because StamCro is basically, just feels immortal with the amount of hots you can have. And you're not sacrificing any damage because StamCro's got the burst for you. But yeah, before we get started, if you guys can hit that subscribe and like button, it really does go a long way and does help out the channel a lot. Thank you so much for your support. Also, leave down a comment what you guys want to see next. From what I'm seeing is people want more Oaken Soul builds. Is that true? Leave it down in the comments. But as always, I'll have timestamps on screen and down below if you're looking for anything specific. But without further ado, let's blast bones our way into the build. Alright, so for the first set we run, lo and behold, Wretched Vitality. I mean, Wretched Vitality is one of the best sets in the entire game for open world. There's a reason you either see this or Rally and Cry, with the occasional Danger Trickery. Look at that, just look at the stats. Mag Recuff, Stand Recuff, weapon to spell damage for those heals on the back bar. 5-piece, you get the 390 stamina and magicka recovery. Yes, for 15 seconds when you proc one. It's back barable. Yes, you could proc this and carry it over to your front bar. That's the reason Wretched Vitality is so powerful. Not only that, it lets you go full offensive on your jewelry. That's what I really love about this set. Next set we do run is, lo and behold, Balorgs. I mean, Balorgs is probably the best monster set for damage when it comes to open world. Why is that? Just being able to get weapon and spell damage plus penetration when you use your ultimate. Because when you use your ultimate, you're going for a combo, so you're trying to burst them into oblivion. So yeah, being able to get up to 500 weapon and spell damage and over 11k penetration. Yeah, this set is crazy. And this set actually rewards you for holding on to your ults, which is really nice. So just like any meta build, this is a front bar, back bar setup. So we will be running one piece training. I mean, training, come on. We do have one extra slot. Why is that? Because we do run a mythic. And what mythic is that? You can just tell by the picture. Marking Ring of Majesty. This ring is honestly one of the best, if not the best mythic in the entire game when built right. That's what I like about Marking. Damage and tankiness, both best of both worlds, yes. And for the front bar, we do run Titanborn. About time I show some love to one of my most favorite sets when it was first announced, Titanborn. I just love this set so much. 2-piece offense pen, 3-piece weapon and spell damage, 4-piece max stam. Kind of sucks. I wish the 2 and 4-piece would swap, but whatever. The 5-piece adds 110 weapon and spell damage and 1240 penetration. Might not seem like much, but when you drop below 75% health, that doubles. So that's 220 weapon and spell damage and almost 2500 penetration, which the base can quadruple when you're under 50% health. So yes, you can get 440 base weapon and spell damage and almost 5k penetration. Now most people will be saying, well, you're not always guaranteed to proc it. True, that's the point. Open world PvP, especially 1vxing, it's so dynamic, it's so like crazy, you never know what you're gonna proc. You can, when you go for a Dawnbreaker, you could be at 25% health and you'll absolutely obliterate your target. So that's what I really like about it. The other alternative to Titanborn is stuns. Stuns does give you a lot of penetration just straight off the rip. So the way we run it, we do run a Titanborn Maul, absorb stamina, enchant, sharpen. Why do we run them all? Penetration. PvP penetration is keen, and you can tell we're triple dipping in pen. So for the back bar, we do run Resto Staff of Wretched Vitality. Yes, a Resto Staff. I absolutely love the Resto Staff. This thing is honestly probably a sleeper on Stam builds for some reason. I don't know why people aren't running this set. We don't use any Resto abilities, but honestly, the reason we run a Resto, 30% more magicka from your heavies, but the main reason is when we complete a fully charged heavy, we get major mending. Yes, on demand, like hello. Yeah, this thing is never leaving my back bar on Crow. And plus with all the hots we have on this Crow, like I do run an onslaught enchant, basically that grants us all 3 health, magicka, and stamina. Really good. You can go anything. You can go this, absorb magicka enchant, or weapon and spell, or a berserker, up to you personally. So for the trait, I do run defending. Defending honestly is the best trait for back bar, because on your back bar you're trying to be tanky, you're trying to survive. Alright, so for the armor weights, we do run the typical 3-3-1, 3 heavy, 3 medium, 1 light. So for my heavy, I do run a heavy Balorg's head and shoulders, and for my last piece of heavy, I do run a heavy chest of Wretched Vitality. For my light, I do run a light sash of Wretched Vitality, and for my medium, I do run a medium arms, legs, and feet of Titanborn. Now for the traits, if you can tri-stat all the pieces, do that please. And if you can't do that or can't afford them, obviously just tri-stat the big pieces. What I mean by that is head, chest, and legs. But if you can't do that, max damage perfectly just fine. Just adjust your health attributes at the end. Alright, so for the jewelry, we do run a necklace at the training, ring of retro vitality, and a market ring of majesty because market only comes in a ring, duh. So the way we run it, all infused, all weapon damage. Yes, all infused, all weapon damage. And for this build, please make it weapon damage. Yes, we have access to major brutality, to 20% more weapon damage. So please make it weapon damage. Alright, so for the food we run, good old Orzhkovka smoked bear haunch. This food is probably one of the best foods in the entire game. A lot of health, so we get recup on top of being tanky with more health. The pots we do run is the ones you normally see in PvE land. Weapon damage, weapon crit, sand pots. So this is how we get our 20% more weapon damage. Major savagery, 12% more crit. Please don't sleep on crit. Crit is so good. Plus, this is how we get our Sam sustain. Alright, so either one's fine if you want to buy the AP ones, or if you want to craft them yourself. The way you craft them is Blessed Thistle, Dragon Thorn, and Wormwood, and there you go. They're both the same. Either one's fine. Alright, but enough of that. Let's go over the skills now. Alright, so for the first skill we do run is Race Against Time. This skill is honestly so busted. I love this skill. So this is basically our root and snare immunity that just happens to grant us major expedition and minor force. Now you might be saying, why are you running the front bar? Trust me, that back bar is clogged with a bunch of other good skills, which we'll get to in a little bit. So the next skill I do run is Turn Evil. This was the missing piece of my puzzle that I could not figure out. I needed a stun. So our spammable is Wrecking Blow. When they become off balance, I mean, you really can't stun them to apply stand pressure. With this one, you can apply all the stand pressure you want on them. So basically, you just fear the targets around you, leave a rune on the ground, which if you stand in the rune, you get minor protection and minor endurance. Yeah, this skill is pretty nuts. And also for having a slot, we get 3% more weapon and spell damage. But like, this skill was the missing piece of the puzzle, and honestly, it's really good for 1vxing. Next, we do run Executioner. This is basically just an execute. The lower health they are below 50% health, the harder we hit. So next skill we do run is Blast Bones. The one I run is Stalking Blast Bones. I absolutely love Stalking Blast Bones. Now, if you're yelling at me saying, why are you calling this a StamCro? If you want to run Blighted Blast Bones, go ahead. No one's stopping you. I just really like Stalking Blast Bones because of two things. This morph, the longer the skeleton is running, the more damage it does. Yes. This thing hits harder the longer it's up. But the main thing, it does flame damage. Yes, vampires get absolutely disintegrated by this. And Divines forbid, if this thing's chasing them for 5 seconds, this thing will chunk them. Next, we run Dizzying Swing. Obviously, this is our spammable. Sets them off balance. We stun them when they're off balance. And when they're off balance immune, we snare them for a lot, 40%. Next, obviously, for our ultimate, just standard old Dawnbreaker of Smiting. It honestly is the best universal ultimate in the entire game. Not only do you do a ridiculous amount of damage, you stun the target and put a nasty dot on them. And it's really good for setting up combos. So for the back bar, we do run Summoner's Armor. I really like this morph. It's really, really good for sustain. Especially if you're running Stalking Blast Bones, it's just really good. Next we do run is Mortal Coil. This skill is honestly pretty busted. I can't believe what they did to it. You get a tether heal that restores 170 magicka and stamina every 2 seconds. And, you know, just while slotted, 3% more healing done. Oh, okay. Oh, Crow. Next we do run is Resolving Vigor. This is obviously our burst hot. I mean, let's just see that thing fully procced. Over 20k over 5 seconds. Okay. Also grants minor resolve for 20 seconds because why not? Next we do run Spirit Guardian. I really do love Spirit Guardian. Now you might be saying, oh, can it die? Yes, it can die, but theoretically, if you took that much damage in 16 seconds, you should have already died anyways. But yeah, 10%, that's basically a major protection on both bars when you cast it. It also gives you a small hot. Next skill we do run is Resistant Flesh. This skill is honestly one of the most busted single target heals in the game. Not only does it heal you for a lot, so if you create heal for 16k, because I've done it before, you get 8k resist for that. That's just bonkers. Straight up bonkers. And for the back bar ultimate, Ravenous Goliath. This ultimate is honestly one of the most fun ultimates in the game. I really like it because when you're getting pressured, you can transform into the Bone Daddy. If you're very, very unkillable, you're basically almost unkillable in this thing. especially with Balorgs, you can actually catch people off guard with this. All right, but enough of that. Let's go over the skills now. Alright, so for the stat sheets, we do have over 15k max mag. Max health is over 32k, always nice. Max damage is at 25.4k. Our recovs, let's just buff up our recovs real quick. So fully procced, our magic recovery is at 1664, health recovery is at the joke to read, and our stam recovery is at 2512. Are you kidding me right now? That's with no sustain Mundus, no sustain on our jewelry. That's straight up from Wretched Vitality and Necro. So our weapon damage is at 5223. This can go up with Balorgs, which we'll show at the end. Our weapon damage goes up to 5883, and our penetration is at 22.4k. Yeah, if we get this fully proc, no one's surviving that burst. Our weapon crit is at 30.5%. Oh yes sir. Our physical and spell pen is just shy of 11k, which this can go up the lower health we are. Obviously can go up also with Balorgs. So let's check out our resistance on our back bar real quick. Spell resist is at 29.5k, physical resist at 28.8k, and our crit resist is at 2082. Now those are some juicy stats. So for the title, we do run Pinnacle Evolution. This is the best time. I'm kidding. For the attributes, we do have 10 points in the health and 54 points in the stamina. So for the Mundus, I do go the Thief. The Thief honestly is the best for this build. Since our crit is pretty low, just being able to bump it up a little bit more, always really good, because a 6% more chance to either do 50% more damage or 50% more healing. I mean, yeah, that alone should sell itself. So we are a stage 3 vampire. Any build these days should always be a stage 3 vampire. Why is that? Because of one simple passive: Undeath. The lower health you are, the tankier you become. Alright, so for the race, I am an Imperial. Imperial is, in my opinion, the best stamina open world race you could pick in this entire game. Why is that? Tough, 2k health. And that's the most max health you can get from a passive. Imperial Metal, 2k more stam. But the main important one is Red Diamond. Reduces the cost of all your abilities by 6%. So all our abilities and ultimates cost 6% less. That basically almost negates the vampire debuff that we get to increase costs. And from what I'm told, put a big asterisk to this. From what I'm told, this also affects CC, break, roll dodge, and blocking. From what I'm told, don't hold me on that. Other races that can be good, obviously Khajiit could always be good. Orc is good. Wood Elf could be really good too. I would probably stay away from the other ones. Alright, but enough of that. Let's go over the CP now. Alright, so for the blue CP, we do run Focus Bending. Increases your healing done with single target heals by up to 10%. Exploiter increases your damage done against off-balance enemies by up to 10%. Master at Arms increases your damage done with direct damage attacks by up to 6%. Ironclad reduces your damage taken by direct damage attacks by up to 6%. For the red CP, we do run Celerity, increases your movement speed by up to 10%. Honestly, in my opinion, the best CP in the entire game. Survival Instincts, while afflicted with a status effect, your core combat skills cost up to 25% less. Relentlessness, being stunned or feared causes you to gain major protection for 3 seconds. And lastly, but certainly not least, Pain's Refuge. Reduces your damage taken by 2% for every 2 negative effects active on you, up to a max of 20%. And for the green CP, doesn't ever really matter. Rationer, Liquid Efficiency, Gifted Rider, and Steed's Blessing. Alright, but enough of that. Let's go over the combo rotation. So there are 2 combos. There's the easier one where you just basically keep using spammables to line up your burst easily, but the only problem is you do miss out on crazy burst. And there is a more advanced where you have to wait for your D swing to go off before you Dawnbreaker. So the easy one, basically all you do is Blast Bones, D swing, Dawnbreaker, boom, everything hits, very good. But as you can see, the Blast Bones doesn't actually get affected by Balorgs because it goes off right before our Dawnbreaker goes off. If you want to maximize the possible burst, well, Blast Bones, wait a second, D swing, Dawnbreaker, and it all just hits at once and it absolutely shreds them. And yeah, that's the whole thing of Crow. The Crow is so easy. And then you just survive. Need Magicka? No worries. Heavy attack. Boom. Shot up to full basically. Now we get major mending. Hello? So now you may be saying, what if I don't have a Dawnbreaker? No Dawnbreaker, no problem. Same thing. Just Blast Bones, double D swing into an execute spam, and honestly, you should be able to be fine. And I'm just gonna say, I absolutely love this build so much. Like, this was the missing piece of my Crow. Like, I'm not gonna lie, StamCro for the longest was so boring. But the whole hybridization change honestly made Crow, especially StamCro, just Such a blast to play, pun intended. Alright, cool beans. Hope you guys did enjoy that build video. Honestly, StamCro is feeling so fun. For the longest, StamCro just felt so bland and boring, but the whole hybridization patch honestly brought StamCro back to life. It is immersive as heck. But yeah, hope you did enjoy the build video. Like the video if you liked it. Comment your thoughts or experiences with the build. Also, anything I might have missed out, what video I should do next. Subscribe for more. But most importantly, stay Zerging. Huh, why not run Colossus?